come in. I'm Priscilla, and this is my crib. I work at the local Verizon store, but more importantly, I'm a homeowner. Recently, I've been going through something called inflation, which is making me pay more for things that I buy in the store. I used to think inflation was some propaganda like communism, but now I know it's as real as the Pumpkin King. Last week, my lawnmower broke, so I had to go to Home Depot to get a new one. When I found the same one that I had, I saw that the price has increased substantially since I last bought it, which was like a decade ago.
Hi, welcome to Home Depot. My name is Nancy. Can I help you find something?
I'm looking to buy a new lawnmower.
Really? Well, we have the newest and greatest model right here.
That's exactly like my old one.
Really? Well, it has the best new gizmos and everything inside it to make it run even better than the last one.
How much is it?
It's $240.
I paid $120 a decade ago.
Oh, well, that was a decade ago, and prices have risen because inflation has gone up substantially, so the price has gone up. But I assure you, it's even better than the last one.
Is there any way that, or like when would the price go down?
Prices will go down when inflation goes down. Ma'am, this is simple economics. I cannot help you with that, but I assure you, even with the price, it is an excellent and the best lawnmower you will get at this price.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right, let's ring you up.
To further educate myself, I asked my friend Natasha for some help in understanding the complexity of economics. Hey Natasha, so I was at Home Depot today and some clerk was telling me about economics and I didn't really get it, so I was wondering if you could explain it to me.
Okay, what do you want to know?
I wanted to know why my mortgage rates were going up and what inflation is.
Sure. Well, first things first, there are two types of inflation.
Oh, I know. There's the good type and the bad type.
No. There's demand pull and cost push inflation. Demand pull is inflation that results from increases in aggregate demand that exceeds any increases in aggregate supply, while cost push is inflation of the economy's average price induced by decreases in aggregate supply and increases in production cost.
Okay, so which one am I going through?
You're experiencing cost push inflation. Push inflation occurs when short-run aggregate supply, as you can see here by the flashlights, shifts to the left, as you can see by the dog toys. Then the government responds with increase in aggregate demand. So aggregate demand 1 is the first line of bread, which shifts upwards into the second line of bread. Both price level and real domestic output increase due to cost push inflation.
One more question. What's aggregate demand and aggregate supply?
I think this is beyond my expertise. I'll send you to my dear friend Austin. Or is it Alan? No, it's Austin. He's a financial advisor. Maybe he can get through that thick head of yours. I mean, woof woof.
Hi, Austin.
I'm Alan.
Natasha said your name was Austin.
I'm Alan, I would know.
Do you have any questions on macroeconomics?
Macroeconomics. I'm here to learn about economics.
Well, which one, macro or micro?
Is there a difference?
Yes, macro is the study of the economy as a whole. It covers topics such as business cycles, unemployment, inflation, and aggregate production. It's like the study of the forest, while micro is the study of the trees. By the way, do you know what business cycles are? It's very fundamental for macroeconomics. Okay, I'll show you. This is the business cycle. Here you have the peak or prosperity phase. This is when real output in the economy is at a high level, unemployment is relatively low, and inflation may be high. From there, you hit the contractionary or recession phase. Real output in the economy is decreasing and the unemployment rate is rising. From the contractions phase, you reach the trough, which is the lowest point of real GDP reached during a business cycle. After that, you reach the expansionary or recovery phase. This is when real output in the economy is increasing and the unemployment rate is declining. It will constantly have this movement.
Well, I don't care. I just want to know why inflation is making me poorer than usual. And what's aggregate demand and aggregate supply?
Aggregate demand is the demand for the GDP of a country.
Wait, what's GDP?
GDP is gross domestic product, and it represents the monetary value of all goods and services produced in a country. There are two types, nominal and real. So nominal GDP is the GDP calculated at existing prices, and real GDP is nominal GDP adjusted for inflation, and it measures what is really produced. Just remember that GDP, real GDP at least, equals nominal GDP divided by the GDP deflator. Oh yeah, where was I? Aggregate supply is the total supply of all goods and services produced in a country in a specific amount of time. So inflation is impacting you like it does to a lot of people. In general, each dollar you have buys less of a good, so you can buy less with the same amount of money.
Okay, I have a question about GDP.
What is it?
Do you measure it with a ruler, or is it just is it? After never getting the answer to my question, I found out that you can't measure GDP with a ruler. So, to prepare myself for the apocalyptic sounding future, I decided to go ask for a raise.
Come in. Hi. Hi.
I wanted to talk to you about my raise, and I was hoping if it would come sooner, because things are getting a lot more expensive and I can't pay for stuff now, so.
Okay, yeah. Well, lucky for you, there's not stagflation at the moment, so that really comes in handy when considering your raise.
What's stagflation?
So stagflation is caused by a decrease in aggregate supply, and it leads to high inflation and high unemployment, and also constant economic growth.
Okay, but how does that apply to me? I'm just here for a raise. Me.
Well, right now there is high inflation, so your wage is not worth as much because it has less buying power. So I'm going to show you how to fight stagflation. As you can see here, this is the short run, long run Phillips curve. Over here is the inflation rate, and over here is the unemployment rate. Under normal circumstances, there is a short run trade-off between inflation rate and unemployment rate. But stagflation is when there is simultaneous high inflation and high unemployment. This is a leftward shift of the aggregate supply curve and a rightward shift of the short run Phillips curve, as you can see. After all nominal wage adjustments to increases and decreases in the rate of inflation have happened, the economy ends up back at its full employment level output and its natural rate of unemployment.
Oh, I get it now. It all makes sense. But do I still get a raise? Is that
Well, I guess. Fine, yeah.
After asking my friends for advice on economics, I found out that I learned absolutely nothing, other than the fact that I bought a very overpriced lawnmower.
I will have you know that that lawnmower was so worth the money.
My therapist recommends that I actually get new friends. In all seriousness, I learned a lot about economics, and I'm very thankful for the people that helped me in my time of need. Now get out.